Yo, what's going on YouTube? Back at it with another College Football 26 video, and this is going to be part 2 of our Tulane offensive breakdown. If you guys have not seen part 1, I think you really need to. It is going to be kind of the engine of this offense. We're going to cover all the stuff out of bunch tight end that I think is really impactful. Really those key 5 or 6 power pass plays with different setups for each one of them, whether it's man or zone, as well as some key runs and RPOs that are out of the bunch tight end. In this video, we're going to cover kind of our supplementary formations. So that's going to be really our trips tight end, offset week's going to be kind of our secondary formation, as well as a lot of really good runs and short yardage plays out of this playbook to really help you guys in the red zone to make sure we're scoring touchdowns and not kicking threes, right? So the first thing I want to cover are going to be our secondary passing formations and kind of audible formations. So bunch tight end, right? Our personnel is 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. So we can audible to any other formation in the playbook that has the same formation or same personnel, right? So trips Y over is the same thing. 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, 1 running back. Really, all we're going to want in this formation is going to be halfback dive. If you guys have not seen this before, this halfback dive might be the best shotgun run in the game when your opponent is not doing the mint or dollar run shoot, where they kind of loop right behind the nose tackle. That can kind of mess it up, but any other formation, this dive is fantastic. And if you guys are struggling against that type of gap shoot, right, the mint or the dollar run shoot, I do have a whole video talking about how I like to run the ball against that, and you're able to implement all those principles directly into Tulane here. So highly going to recommend that as an audible for a good shotgun run. And then on a trips tight end, this is really going to be our other main play. Read wide corner, inside zone, verticals, an RPO read bubble. These are really going to be some really nice pass plays out of read wide corner and verticals. So we're going to hop right on into these. Again, I always want to come out and bunch tight end and audible just for the sake of, making this video not super long. I'm just going to come out in the right formation, right? And really, out of any trips, you tend to want to have your trips to the wide side of the field. So from here, we're going to make just a few simple hot routes versus zone coverage. That's when I really like trips tight end is versus zone. I don't love this as much versus man. I think bunch tight end, you're able to really pick apart man coverage. But versus zone coverage, I really like trips tight end here. So we're going to streak our tight end, return route triangle, out route square, and then Texas the running back. And what you're going to see here basically is the circle route's going to work as a really deep crosser. Versus any sort of zone coverage, your tight end streak will run off the deep zones, and then you're able to hit this crosser over flat and under a deep zone. But while it's over the middle of the field, you get a high-low read between circle and your running back Texas, and then a late check down with our return route because this out route's going to pull any flats out to the sideline. So as you can see right here, right, you get a high-low read, triangle's open, and then circle ends up open right over the top. This is really the play I'm going to go to the most out of trips tight end. Just show you guys again the read progression. You can see this guy kind of clear and get to a really soft spot, right? You see there's nobody guarding him here. At the same time, we have this high-low read for running back Texas. I will say one thing with running back Texas is if you ever want some free yards, basically right as he clears the line, you can almost always throw this because a lot of times people try to bait in the middle and they're not ready to guard this Texas route right away, so you can get some really cheeky free yards there. And then finally, depending on what you see there, again, this out route pulls the flat to the sideline, which is going to leave this return route wide open as kind of a really good late check down. Okay, that's going to be our first concept out of read wide flat. If you guys do play this against man coverage, I will say we can make it work because trips is pretty decent against man. Generally, what I'm going to want to do versus man coverage is going to be, I really love this double drag concept with a running back Texas. This is something I really like. It just gives you a really high-low read. And then on the left side of the field, this is where you can really pick apart man. What I like to do maybe is a post to triangle and like a comeback, right? You can start doing comebacks and curls, or if you want to, right, we're in trips, you have pretty good spacing, maybe you do a really deep stem curl, right? And what you're able to see here, right, we know these comeback routes beat man, and you're going to have pretty decent spacing. This curl route will beat man, and then we're going to see our double drag routes, again, are going to beat man. This is zone coverage, but let me go quickly call like mid-blitz. Obviously, in this play, if you guys are being, cover zero blitz, just block the running back or the tight end. Generally, because the running back's on the opposite side of the tight end, I'd recommend blocking the running back so you can have a threat from the right side of the screen, right? Because we block this tight end here, all our routes are on one side of the field. Not that great, but maybe we know you go tight end drag route, right? Maybe hit this double drag. You can even leave circle if you want to, just an in-breaking route from circle, and then generally like a comeback here. And then you can either do a stemmed up curl, you could do a drag here if you want to, any sort of kind of in-breaking route, or if you're really good at free-forming streaks, put this guy on a streak, and then you can throw a free-form streak versus man. But kind of our base combo is going to be something like this, right? This is kind of our base combo, but you can freestyle a little bit versus man. And as you're going to see, right, we have our double drags, and then this comeback is just wide open versus man coverage. So that's how we're able to attack man out of trips tight end. Again, I know we prefer it versus zone, but that's going to be our 2 setups out of read wide flat. The final pass play, this is going to be verticals. I personally only call verticals versus zone coverage, but it's going to do a really great job. versus cover 3, and it's going to be all zones. Really versus cover 3, we're going to look to hit our seams here, which is the whole point of verticals, and versus cover 2, you're looking to hit up the sideline. So the only hot routes we're really going to make, I like to streak my tight end here. Again, it's going to run off those deep zones, make circle kind of really deep crosser. And then normally I either like a running back Texas route, again, that high-low read like we just saw in curl flat, or you can even leave him on the speed out, because one of the things you'll often see is when people are in zone coverage, they struggle to guard these streaks, which means normally they'll start manning people up, and if you notice that, then all of a sudden there's no flat on the field, and we can attack the flat with our running back. So out of this right here, again, we're looking to hit our seams. And you could see how pretty quickly someone may man up their slot corner on triangle, which is then going to leave R1 wide open, right? But hit your seams till they guard it. This versus cover 3. Let me show you the crosser real quick. Assuming we get some time in the pocket here. Right, you can see how this gets to a pretty sweet spot as well. Pretty good zone beater. Let me go show you versus cover 2. Where is verticals? We got a cover 2 out here. Tampa 2 works fine. What you're going to see versus cover 2 is you're really going to hit this outside streak once he clears that flat before he gets to the deep zone. And you get a really nice pocket of the sideline. So you can see just how these streaks are already so annoying, and again, can force your opponent to take their flat off the field, so then you can open up this pass to your running back for some pretty big gains. So great plays here. And then real quick versus cover 4, because verticals is just a super zone beater every year. Where is cover 4? Should be single mug, has like cover 4 quarters. Actually, I need non-match cover 4. This is going to match, but we'll show you guys this versus match. Versus match is probably works pretty well because the running back is left unguarded for the most part. Right there, he actually matched a little differently. You can always just outrun that purple zone. And if they're running like palms, I think it does get unmatched because the slot corner guards a streak. But, you can still hit the seam somewhat effectively. It's a little tighter of a window, but you just put the guys in conflict. Again, normally this running back route is kind of the key to beating match. You just hit this and kind of rack it up the field. Most people are on match, and if they are running match, we have a really, really great match beater in bunch tight end. But just want to show you versus match. If you get caught off guard, really look to your running back quickly is who you want to hit. So that's going to be verticals and read by corner. Now out of this, the only other one we're going to have is read bubble. A read bubble is going to do great versus zone coverage. Don't load as much versus man, because you're going to see versus man coverage here. The guy that's manned up on... Why did they just give me an auto hand? Did I actually call inside zone? I may have actually called inside zone. Read bubble. There we go. Yeah, okay. The guy that's manned up on circle is just head up on him, so he's just going to run out here versus man and pick this every time if it's man coverage. So, be wary about that. But you can always get this quarterback keeper, which can be pretty glitchy too. So again, it's a read option with that bubble screen. But versus zone coverage, this is when this play really shines. Just because zone coverage does not have great alignment for trips bubbles or any sort of trips RPOs. Right, so if you call cover 3 sky, you're going to see, right, the slot corner is going to get, well, he just shedded the hell out of us. So hopefully you get a better block. But you can see how you get pretty good block targeting here. Let's see if we can actually get a good block. There we go. Right, and you can see how this is pretty free yards. So it's a good little mix and bubble, especially when we're attacking all the seams and everything like that. And then you're able to hit a little bubble screen, a good little inside zone. So that's going to complete trips tight end offset week. And now I want to cover our red zone, okay? Red zone. First play we're going to cover here is going to be out of Y off trips against something we can audible to. And really what we're looking for here is RPO read Y flat. Some people do like RPO bubble Y pop. Both of these are very good. I would just call bubble Y pop pretty stock, honestly. I don't think you make a lot of hot routes. And read Y flat. I put out a whole video on how great this RPO is, and I'm sure you guys have seen it out of, on my YouTube videos, on my Twitch streams, anything like that. But let's move the ball into the red zone. And again, really all you're going to want to do is when you motion this guy in, you're going to, while he's moving, hot rod him and put him on a short cross, and it'll give him this little speed out. And then you're going to see versus almost every coverage, this guy is wide open. This is not unguardable or anything. It's not like a legitimate glitch. You just have to press and put a hard flat, but most people don't know how to do that. So they end up giving you a bunch of free streaks. And then let alone from that, you also have this actual bubble side, or this tight end flat, which is already really, really good. I'm sure you guys have seen this play. Just want to let you know it is in the playbook. A really, really powerful short yardage play that I think you guys need to make your opponent's guard, right? Maybe they do shut it down, but you got to make them prove they can shut it down. Then from there, we're going to get into really our short yardage runs. Again, if they're not doing a run shoot, I'd highly recommend the trips tight end or the trips Y over dive. But if they are, we have a few answers. Now, this is one play that you actually cannot audible to. Out of trips halfback week, we're going to set our audibles. We want RPO alert bubble, verticals, and halfback direct, as well as, not inside zone, sorry, we want QB blast. So RPO alert bubble, QB blast, verticals, direct. Again, you can't audible because this is 4 wide receivers. So unfortunate. But what we're going to get here is QB Blast is going to be really, really great. Let's look at like mid blitz, right? Very similar to Notre Dame. It's not as good as the Notre Dame one, but you get some pretty good run blocking. You can see how, we start diving, maybe for a yard here or something, right? You're getting 2-3 yards a pop. So on top of having Blast, you also get this halfback direct, which is pretty decent. Lets you get back up the field, get some free yards. This is not the best halfback direct in the game by any stretch, but you can combine this with QB power to get some pretty good red zone success here, especially if you start breaking it outside. Right, so we can get downhill there, and then additionally, they cannot fully sell out for the run because we have this alert bubble. And again, if we use our untargeting mechanics, like we talked about in one of my other videos about how to make all of your bubble screens way, way, way better. If you guys haven't seen that, another video on the channel, highly recommend. But you're able to use this untarget feature to guarantee we're blocking the right people and turn this RPO bubble into a free touchdown. So you can kind of see how this little trip set becomes a really good red zone mini scheme where your opponent really can't run goal line because you're in a really spread out set, but we have a good direct to QB blast and a decent RPO. So combining that with trips Y over, with trips tight end, and with, even some of these bunch plays are pretty good. RPO alert bubble is pretty good in the red zone. All the run plays are pretty decent. So you're able to build a pretty solid red zone scheme and make sure you're getting sevens. One thing I do want to mention here for a red zone play is going to be out of bunch tight end. Doesn't really matter what play you call because we're going to hot route almost all of them. But versus zone coverage, right? Let's call cover 2 hard flat. What we're going to be able to do is we put our tight end on a return route, right? Really the concept we're going to hit home here is a return route with a flat route. So the flat route pulls the flats out, and then the return route attacks over the middle of the field. So we have a flat and our tight end. Square is going to go on a flat. We're going to return triangle, right? And then circle, you just need something over the middle of the field to maybe pull some attention to some yellows. So I like a deep crosser, okay? This is a very common play you guys are going to see. And really, you kind of just pick a return route. Right there, we just got screamed at and honestly kind of got bagged. But it's a pretty good little play here. Right here, I'm assuming I'm going to be able to hit... I forgot to put X on a return route. But normally one of them ends up wide open. Again, cover 2 hard flats, about the best defense you could think to play versus this. So let me quickly just set this up. I'm guessing triangle is going to be open. Oh, it's X. You're able to kind of pass these back away from the yellow zones, and they don't really guard them very well. I don't know why. You're going to kind of see them just sit there and stare at the guys. Right, that time he actually did guard it. But if you see it guarded, they get open over the middle of the field. So just something that is definitely good. And again, practice mode's always a little weird because they do match, but especially when you get some time here, you kind of let them get over the middle of the field, and they're wide open. So when they're not matching, this is just a good play to mix in. Something I'd highly recommend you guys practice. Wanted to put at the end because it's something I don't call as often, but you guys can definitely see how this is this gets open versus zone right there, right? Our return route gets open. You kind of just pick one, put the user in a tough spot, and then as well, if it, let's say they don't have flats on the field or any deep zones, you can always hit a circle at the back of the end zone here. Now, granted, there's a mid read here that's matching, but right, if they had a bunch of 0-yard yellow zones, you could throw that out the back of the end zone. So good little pass play to a bunch tight end, but for the most part, I'd recommend sticking to our runs out of that trips formation, as well as maybe RPO alert bubble and our RPOs out of Y off trips. So if you guys made it this far, I hope you guys were able to learn something and really able to put this all together to run a pretty efficient 2-lane offense, both in and out of the red zone. And additionally, if you guys, again, learned something, I'd really appreciate a like on this video. Helps the channel grow, helps this video get out to more and more people. And additionally, if you're not subscribed, if you guys could drop a subscription, really, really helps the channel grow. We just cleared 500 subscribers not too recently, so growing really fast. Really appreciate all the support. And finally, if you guys are not already following me on Twitch, I live stream every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday night, and that link's to be down below in the description, or it's Ginobili __. I'm looking to see more of you guys there. It's been a really, really great time getting in and engaged with you guys live, so the more we can get over there, the better. So, yeah, I hope you guys learned something. Hope you did a great one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.